Well, Pure Zillion are a rock and metal band who are on the line with us here. How are you all doing?
Doing very well.
Yeah, doing great. Doing great.
Great. Now, the band's latest release is called You and Me. So, what's the song about, really?
So it's about a teen love story. I think everyone experienced that when he was young.
Mm.
And yeah, it's something from our life. And we wanted to share that with our um, fans.
Yeah. And how would you describe the overall sound of the band?
So I would say we're obviously a rock band with influence from metal and pop. We just try to find our style still, and I would say we take a lot of inspiration from bands like Alter Bridge, for example, and we listen to much stuff from the 80s and 90s, I would say.
Mm. And despite being a German band, a lot of your songs have English lyrics. Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, I think it's easier for us to express ourselves in the English language, and also that makes our music international, so everybody around the world can understand it.
Yeah.
So we can spread our messages better. Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah. And when you listen to the songs, there's sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's sort of like a cool loudness that you hear, like you're listening to it at some sort of live event or in an arena. How do you achieve that sound?
So you're actually the first one asking this question, and actually it's very easy to do that. You just need a few people singing the same line in the studio over and over and over again. That takes a lot of time, but then you layer it, and it sounds like something you're in a stadium. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And who actually writes the songs? Is there a member of the band in particular that does it?
So that's me. I write the songs. But by now, we're doing that stuff together and get better at it.
And what do each of the other members of the band do in terms of instruments and things?
So I'm obviously the singer,
Yeah.
and he's the guitarist.
Yes, I'm the guitarist. I also sing background vocals. We used to play many instruments, all of us. So yeah.
Yeah, I also play the guitar, and
and I'm the bassist. I'm playing the bass, obviously.
Yeah. And Joshua, being the singer and the drummer, is there any one, either the singing or drumming, that you prefer?
So I prefer singing, but now we have a drummer in our band who entered like 2 months ago, I think. And so now I really focus on singing.
Yeah. And having two guitar players as well, what's the sort of purpose of that?
Yes, so we started out with one guitar player, and then Finn came in the band, and at the beginning it's like difficult to cover your songs with just one guitar, so we decided to play with two. It's way easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And can any of you play any instruments that you don't actually play in the band?
So I play the guitar as well, and the bass a little bit, and also write songs with the keyboard.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so for me it's about the same. I try to play like a little bit of drums, bass, and keyboard as well.
Yeah, I also know like the basics of playing the bass, and also and also ukulele a little bit.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
So obviously, as a bass player, I started out playing guitar, and then we needed a bass in our band. And because my father is playing the bass since he's a child, I learned it from him. So now I'm playing the bass.
Nice. Yeah. And how did each of you actually get into music in the first place?
So I started playing music from a young age, like with 4 years. Started, and I think with Joshua, it's the same, right?
Yeah, my father is a musician as well, and I started out playing drums when I was 3 years old. And
Yeah, so in my family, no one's really musician, but I got a CD player when I was 4, and I had a Korn CD and a Green Day CD on it, and I listened to it all the time. And then I started playing guitar when I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole family listened to music a lot, and especially to rock music. So I was into it in a very young age, and then I started to play the guitar. Yeah, because it's like one of the main instruments in that genre.
Yeah, definitely. And then how did you all meet and create this band?
Yeah, so it started in the beginning with Joshua, Emilian, and Jonas as a like kind of school band. And one day I joined the rehearsal of a school band because they were lacking guitar players there, and yeah, that's the time we came in touch, and then we met privately and formed the band Pure Zillion. Yeah, and just recently we have a drummer so that Joshua can focus more on singing and stage performance.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the story.
Yeah. And speaking of Joshua, you actually made it to the finals of the Voice Kids last year in Germany. What was that experience like?
So it was very overwhelming, I think. I learned a lot and met like famous people in Germany. And yes, I think it was the first contact with being a successful musician.
Yeah.
And yes, it influenced our band very much, I think.
And Finn, being the oldest member, do you feel any particular responsibility? Maybe like you have to look after the rest?
No, not really, because in like yeah, as we are all friends. Of course, I sometimes give them some kind of advice, but I think it's normal that they don't really care that much in their age about advice that only one's giving that's like 3 or 4 years older than them. Yeah, so not really.
Yeah. Now, you're quite popular in the UK, you seem to be. Have you ever been here or plan to?
So no one of us has been to UK, I think. But we like, it's very cool, and we like to visit it. Maybe even play a show there sometimes.
Yeah. And which musicians have inspired each of you over the years?
So for me, it's like AC/DC, as I said, Alter Bridge, and Linkin Park, I would say.
For me, it's Led Zeppelin, and maybe AC/DC too.
Yeah.
So for me, I listen basically to every music from rock to rap. So I can't really say that some particular musician really inspired me.
Yeah, for me it's definitely Guns N' Roses, I would say, because that's the first rock band I listened to a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And then how did the name of the band, Pure Zillion, actually come into being?
So it was me who invented that name. I thought of like a cool sounding name
Yeah.
who sticks in the ear, if you can say that in English. I don't know. And I thought like Zillion means the maximum. And then I don't know, it was like a quick idea.
Yeah.
I don't know it anymore.
Yeah. And in terms of performances you've done, do you have any favorites so far?
I don't think we have any favorites in particular because we played a lot of gigs last year, and every one of them was fun, honestly, because it's always a nice experience performing live with the fans. So it's always nice.
But I think Killing in the Name of is our favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
cover song.
yeah. And of course, these last nearly 2 years now, performances have been harder to do. So how's the pandemic affected the band overall?
Yes, it affected us pretty much, I would say. You know, we could play some little gigs and stuff in summer, especially, but when, you know, winter, it's very hard because no one wants to have a band, and it's with Corona, it's very hard for us. So yeah, it's not that good, but good thing about it, we have time to practice and, you know, write songs, and that's
And record the
positive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And have you got any performances coming up now, and indeed more singles and albums?
Yes, so our new song "You and Me" was published 2 days ago. That was pretty good, you know. And also, next step would be our album, which comes out in April this year. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of your ambitions and things, where do you think the band will be in 10 years' time?
So our hope is that we are successful and maybe play on stages we dreamed of when we were younger. Yeah. And do you want to say anything?
Yeah, it would be great to play on the big stages where we've seen our idols play. I think that would be the big dream, or in general, if we can live from music and tour internationally, that would be great, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And do you each have your own sort of interests and hobbies that you like to get up to when you're not performing and writing and playing instruments and making music?
Yeah, I play handball. Yeah, and I do in generally a lot of sports. Try to keep myself fit. Yeah.
So I like meeting my friends and make party.
Yeah.
And I think the others as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And where are we able to check out all the music that you've released so far and find you on social media and websites and places?
So you can find us on Instagram and on Facebook. And here are our songs and latest releases on Spotify and like all big streaming platforms.
Great. Well, thanks very much for joining us here on the show today. It's been great to have you all here.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.